The ruined keep. A mass of ancient stone overlooking the ocean. Beneath the ruined keep, waves crash against sharp rocks, sending a spray of salt water into the air like a mist. The walls are deep in early morning shadow as a new sun rises above the horizon and lights the sky in a dull red glow. Hawks fly lazily on the hot air above the cliff and dive silently, the deadly predators that they are. The party are not at the ruined keep. The party are no longer by the mountain lake that is filled with lava and covered in mist. The party are not on their raft. The party are separated, transported by a dull sound of a church bell onto the elemental planes. The planes of shadow, water, and fire. Herathia skulks in the shadow plane, tucked against the edges of an anomaly, where the fire plane has burst through and sent a shower of lava into the air. Samita and Adalbert struggle through deep water, unable to breathe, gradually freezing in the darkness. Alithia and Baha have just jumped from the shadow plane, taking a leap of faith to join Zamar and Bran. Alithia landing sprightly as if she had traversed planes all her life. Baha not so lucky, falling onto a flow of lava and managing to scrabble out in time to avoid certain death. Meanwhile, Zamar is scanning the terrain with a spyglass, trying to determine where the church is. They want to investigate the church at the centre of Rogaton, but the church bell has pushed them far away, and they don't know how to get back. And that is where we'll pick up the session. So if you'd like to unmute yourselves. You are actually in initiative at the moment. And the first person in initiative order is Baha. Who, as usual, is going to hold his initiative. He's following the direction of the others at the moment, which means, Alithia, you're up.
What are we in initiative against? I'm really sorry. Like, it was all a bit fuzzy in my head as to what happened.
When you got to the shadow plane, you saw a number of things.
Yeah, no, I remember that. But, like, am I still in initiative? Now I'm in another plane?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Zamar will look over at Alithia and then hold a finger up for a moment.
Okay. Everyone, I don't think we should go back to the shadow plane. I think we need to try and get to the real plane again. But that's in the super hot fire. So let's try doing it through the water place. So yeah, and then I'm gonna try and like run towards where one of like water players sleeping through.
Okay, so just to show you the map a bit more, getting to water is hard from where you are. You've got this void in front of you, which is the conjunction between fire and shadow. Mm-hmm. So if you go in, you will end up on shadow again. Water is over here. That's the nearest one by as the eagle flies. But to get there, you would have to go across actual deadly lava, and just fairly deadly heated rock, and actual deadly lava.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean you can't do it, because, you know, flying and stuff. But
water plane through the shadow plane. We keep quiet. Bye. And then I won't go back into the shadow plane, evidently. Oh my God, step in. Don't put your head in your hands.
All right, roll Arcana.
Oh. Oh, wow. I'm starting off really well as a 1. Makes a 4.
Okay, as I don't know what you do and don't remember, I may over-explain certain things. But last session, when you landed on the fireplane, you used your knowledge of the arcane to kind of navigate just like a skydiver. So there's actually a period of time when you're between dimensions. You're actually moving between the planes. You nailed it with a 20, natural 20, I think, last time. You are failing to nail it with a natural 1. So you are currently
in between planes.
No, it's not that bad. You are on the shadow plane, but your movement is not as well designed as you would wish. So I'd like Mr. Roberts to roll a d8 for direction. So a 1 being north, and then the spokes.
You're muted, Chris, by the way.
Oh, no, I just wasn't undoing it. Right, I'll try not to get a 1 then. 4.
So 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Yes, thank you.
No,
Unskilled, but lucky. So you actually land in the perfect spot. So one of the main things you're worried about at the moment is keeping this fire anomaly on the shadow plane, where the fire plane has burst through, because it's so bright that it seems as though the hellhounds that are here, you can't see that on the screen, these hellhounds here, they haven't actually noticed your arrival yet because you're behind this fire. All right, any other movement? Because you didn't really use any going through the planes.
So where is the nearest water plane to me?
There's one here.
One there. Okay, fine. So I think what I'm gonna do is Rathia near me?
Harathia is here.
Fine. Fuck it, like we are in dangerous territory. I am going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
Oh, was that my action going through, actually?
No, it's movement.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace on myself and everyone else who would be around, potentially.
Bear in mind, it's relatively short range. I think Harathi's out of it.
Yeah, he's out of it. It's 30 feet, but, if he comes near, then...
Does it work like that, or is it just who's around you at the point of casting?
I thought it was at cast, but I will check.
Oh, it's around me at the point of casting. Never mind then.
You can still do it.
Yeah, you can still do it. You can split your movement, so you can move sort of more there, so that you're within 30.
Okay. I'm gonna you know what? I can't hold both. So I will I will hold to cast Pass Without a Trace once everyone is within 30 feet of me. So I'm gonna move as to where you said it was, so I can try and catch Rathia, but I will wait for everyone else to jump through as well. Okay. And hope the others.
And then some movement, right?
No, I can't because if I move, I can't hold a movement. So I'm going to hold Pass Without a Trace.
Yeah, but you could move now and then hold Pass Without a Trace.
Yeah. But I want everyone to be around me. So pretty much as soon as everyone comes out of the...
Oh, you're thinking of when they come through. Okay. Well,
yeah.
If they come through.
Doesn't it work both ways, though? I mean, I already wrote down what I was going to do anyway, because so I wouldn't be affected. But you could move, and then 30 goes in both directions. You can stand between anybody who comes through.
Yeah, but then I would be outside, like in a visible area myself.
Obviously, you think that. Oh, right. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I'll just move to like the far corner of where the brightness gets me, going towards the water area.
Oh, you want to go here? Or
Yeah.
like here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right. So we currently have a system in chat where you can redeem points for various things. I am winding down the player redemption. So most of the time I'm not going to allow a player to redeem a point. However, Lachas has yeeted one at Zamar.
What? What's the? I deflect it. I no. It's like, do I have to carry it? Like, is it gonna do me damage?
Yeah, I chose Rainer because he's, although he's increasingly flimsy and unrealistic and untrue, he's not a player character. It's actually she, Rainer, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that one, but I will do Lachas's one. Sorry,
It's not my
Mr.
fault.
Roberts.
Yeah,
And
no, that's fair enough. I was chancing it.
yeah. So when it comes to your turn, Mr. Harris, you will once again be able to speak with Alithia. But
Okay.
it's not your turn yet. So whose turn is it? It is Rathia's turn.
Wait, I'm a god?
Did you not know that?
Yeah, no, this is
Normally
news
you
for
get
me.
it in the
Awesome.
mail, but maybe the notification got lost somewhere. I don't know. All right, so Horathia, what would you like to do?
Can I see that Lithia's come back again?
Yeah, she hasn't actually hidden. So you saw her kind of come flailing and spinning head over heels, and then sort of land on the shadow plane, and then immediately get up and sort of head over to just in front of you. So you can see her, but she's effectively hidden by the fire from anyone over there.
Right. Can you move the map a little bit, or zoom out or something a little bit? Okay, so what we got there, right in the middle, is that where even Hrathir thinks that the church probably is? You know.
So just to recap, you spotted here. There is a dark tear in even the shadow plane, and that is the exact same shape as the hole in the church that you found when you went to Rogerton last time.
Okay, so I'm just. So basically, you're going to say it's my choice as to whether Hrathir's worked that out.
You recognise the hole.
Okay, fine.
You look at it and go, "That's weird. That's the exact same hole that I saw in the church."
All right, fine. Well, Hrathir really doesn't know what to do, so this is unusual for him. He normally thinks he knows what to do.
Yeah.
So he's gonna still sort of skirt that fire a little bit, but maybe get a little bit closer to Alithia, and he's gonna sort of at the side of his mouth, he's gonna say, "What the fuck is this?"
So around here, right?
Well, no, he's going to maintain a certain amount of distance because he figures that positioning herself on the other side of the fire from potential enemies is a good idea, but getting close to it around the side is not a good idea. So he wants to be about the same distance he was before, but just a little bit further round.
Oh, over here.
He sort of, yeah, around about there.
Okay. That is 20 to 30 feet away from Alithia, so you can't talk quietly to her very easily.
All right.
You'll be going from here to here.
Okay, so fine. Well, put me as close as far as I can think I can be and talk relatively quietly.
So the lava that's pouring out of that hole is generating a lot of noise and rumbling. And you can hear the sound of the the fire elemental plane through there. So I would say 10 feet is probably okay for a low whisper.
Fine. So that was like, what the fuck is this?
And then you can sort of move on after that as well. So you can sort of do a circle like this.
Yeah, but he's not moving on because he genuinely doesn't know what to do.
Oh.
Not that he's saying that, but he's basically he's not going to do anything except, I guess, hold an action to attack something if something attacks him. He's like, yeah, I'll fight if I have to.
All right, if you want to say anything to Harathia, Alithia, you can burn a reaction, but you should also be aware that you might want to keep it in case you need to do something.
I don't think I can burn a reaction because I'm holding an action. So that is my
you're
action.
ready action. Wow, my short-term memory's gone.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault. All right, so Harathia is holding Adalbear on the plane of water.
Blub blub.
There we go. Now, originally, last session, you were thinking of heading there, but you were worried about these two vortexes.
You're muted, Matt.
Yeah. He's trying to roleplay being underwater.
Wait, I can be underwater.
Please speak like that.
Yeah. Would you be able to zoom out a wee bit, Simon, please? And where we're heading is that one there. Yes. No, I think I still probably aim for that way because it's, quickest direction and ends in warm water.
Okay. So you currently have, I can't remember the exact name, but you've got some kind of ability enhancement on Constitution.
We have
Bear's endurance.
the Bear's Endurance. Yes.
So would you like to endure a saving throw against Constitution?
Will I make mine as well then?
Yeah,
Since
we'll do
moving
both
together?
of you together, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that was good.
The enhance was advantage, right,
So-
Matt?
Yes, that's right. Constitution
That's right.
save is 19 altogether.
Alright.
That's only 12 for Reyna. She was not made for this weather.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, there's not much light down here. What light there is mainly coming from the conjunction between water and fire, which has created this very slow whirlpool in this local area. The water you're currently in is freezing cold, so your body temperature is dropping rapidly, and because you've just failed to your saving throw, you do take some cold damage.
Is this both of us?
1 sec.
Oh, apologies. Looked at the wrong stat. It's 10, actually. Just the die roll. Not 12.
All right, so this is your third round in this area. So you take 9 points of cold damage.
And was that both of us, Simon?
Sorry, not you, Adalbert. You're fine.
Obviously.
Yeah, you do feel cold. I mean, you still feel as cold as Samita does. It's just it's beginning to get to Samita more than you.
I was a bear, by the way.
Nice.
As opposed to a tiger, which is, Yeah. Oh, 2 claws.
All right. So, do you want to continue in your original direction, or where do you want to go?
Yes, please. Ooh, can we not get into the wall bit?
You can. I was just fiddling. So I will assume that as you go this way, you're not actually going to be side by side that way. You're going to go more like that.
We'll say Reyna will not let go of his hand.
Well, this is. I think
Unless you
I think
really
we've
demand.
probably got to the point where we're just kind of, because it's so cold, body to body and just kicking in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. As you approach here, you will need to make a dexterity saving throw against this vortex.
Yes. Oh, that's not good. Sorry. 13.
13. Kevin?
That is a 3. Oh, sorry. No, it's a 6. Not that that's better.
All right. As you swim, there's occasional tugging at you, like an undercurrent, and you sort of try to swim around these things. And every time you feel it getting stronger, you try and dodge. But neither of you are very good swimmers that I'm aware of, and so you're not used to this kind of activity. And you both do very badly at it, and you're both kind of sucked in to this side here. So. Adalbert, I'm going to say that you are in the warm water, but Samita, you are still in the cold water for next turn.
Well, as long as I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Zaymar, you are next.
Okay. So Zaymar is essentially massively confused. He saw Alethea come around and then say something along the lines of, like, a shadow plane, water plane, we must go back to the shadow plane. And then apparently along those lines. So at that point, he's truly confused because he hears the shadow plane and just thinks, oh my God. So you said that I'm aware that I can speak to.
Yeah, so last session
Yes.
you had this connection, and you feel it again. There's some kind of connection that allows you to speak with her, even though she's not on your plane.
Okay, Lithia. He reaches out to like the vortex, and then pulls his hand away. Lithia, where are you? You weren't making any sense for a change. Hurry! Where are you?
Now, because of this special connection, you are able to reply, Alethea.
Even without using my...
Yes.
Sorry, so it doesn't use up my reaction.
No.
Okay, great.
So there's an army here, but you need to come to this side so we can go to the water plane, then swim to the real plane, and I will stealth us all.
The shadow thing, but you're on the shadow plane.
Yes.
Okay. He then turns around. And Baha, we need to go back through. Is it the shadow? Is it bad?
As long as we stay hidden, I think we're okay.
No, is it around you? Is it around you? Are you in the shadow?
Yes.
Were you safe in there?
I think so.
He then turns down, squats down to Bron. Obviously not much. Bron, you need to let me touch you. I will try and take you to Harathia. He is through there. Do you understand me? And he reaches out his hand towards Bron.
Bron cocks his head towards you, but he's raised an eyebrow. He looks like he understands.
Okay, I will reach forward, Baha. We will go together. And then he will hold his action until Bron can move, and then he'll basically, the moment Bron is able to move, then he'll use that as his trigger and he'll go through, basically.
All right, cool.
The lead people through towards, and he will use Alithia's voice as a direction guidance for that.
All right. So Bran is directly after you, and having waited, he jumps through. He kind of leaps as if it's
I'll go with him,
chasm.
basically. So the idea is to go exactly with him and keep us all together.
And Baha was holding his action to follow you, so
Right.
he also goes through. And you all need to roll Arcana for...
What I was trying to do is to keep us together so that we all go to the same place.
Yep.
So that's why I was trying to steer us together. And then I'm going to use Alithia's voice while I still have it in my head as a way to try and see if I can guide myself to it, if that works. I have no idea.
All right, so you actually wanted to be a bit closer to Bran, presumably.
Yes.
Okay.
The whole idea is to drag both of them through to wherever it is that we're going.
So we're kind of relying on your Arcana roll, but with advantage.
Yes.
Because Baha will also help.
Yeah,
Bran turns out not to be that useful at navigating through
yeah, exactly.
different planes.
That was the idea.
He just thought it was a hole, so he jumped.
Yeah, so did Zaymar, but it turns out it's not. So.
All right, roll Arcana with advantage.
Okay. Okay, that advantage turned out to be very lucky. That would be 20.
All right. So similar experience to Alithia. You're not. You've never done this before, obviously, but as you go through the two dimensions beginning to converge, and you start feeling the change in gravity and up and all the rest of it, you start sort of skydiving down into a position so you can actually land where you like. Although I suspect you won't choose anywhere that outrageous. But yeah, you can land anywhere in this circle.
Just to the left of Alethea or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I will attempt to grab these.
Look at that.
It's almost like I'm a professional.
I know.
Right. All right. So I will say that as you were the one leading, you can choose first where you go. So you just want to be
fine.
there, okay?
Yeah.
And then
land on Alethea.
yeah, I think probably kind of in a cluster because you would have all gathered together. All right. So as I mentioned to Alethea, it just takes the same movement as stepping through a gap. So you do have some more movement left, half your movement, I think. And
so I think what I will do is.
Oh yeah, and sorry, before that happens, Alethea, your trigger will activate, won't it? So Pass Without Trace is cast. Everyone.
+10 to stealth.
Sorry?
+10 to stealth.
Right. So everyone within 30, which is everyone on this plane, gets the benefit. Sorry. So Zaymar, your action.
My action is actually to hide.
Okay.
But like only just because she said there was an army, so he's immediately sort of ducking down, looking around or whatever. So yeah, I will. Yeah, I guess I'll hide. Okay, sorry, did you say +10 to stealth?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 30.
Okay. Not too shabby. Yeah. Yeah, Pass Without Trace is great, isn't it?
It's amazing.
It's cool.
It's absolutely amazing.
All right. So that brings.
Sorry, so when I've done that, I am then going to start to try and have a look around the outside and see what the hell is going on. I just need to I want to have a look around all of this place, and I'm going to use my spyglass to go and look, and because I've not been here, so he's just going to look around and see what the hell.
Yeah, you can have a look around next round. Now that you've hidden. So as you arrive, and you've sort of gathered in this area here. This is something that Kevin and Matt, you won't know, but all of you on the shadow plane get a brief telepathic image. It's a series of images actually. You see. Actually, 1 second. Let me bring this up. You see 6 horses, almost like a silhouette of 6 horses. You then see hellhounds running, 3 of them. You then see an unspecified humanoid running. And finally, you see a shadowy hand held up in some kind of gesture.
Question. Are any of these the horses that I saw last night?
No, the images are all very vague. Imagine you're seeing like a shadow play on the wall. It's that kind of fuzzy shapes where you instinctively recognize what the images are meant to be, but they're not specific things.
Where do we see them?
In your head, they are telepathic images. They have no actual location. They flash up in your mind. All right, so we're going to roll round again. So Baha will hold again, and Alithia, you're up.
We need to get to the real world, and I don't think we can do it when there's an army and a 1,000,000-foot person. So let's go to the water world and then swim over to the real world. I'm going. You all are more stealthy now. Bye.
And I run.
Okay.
So
you want to use action and bonus, right? Or just
action and bonus.
Sorry, not action and bonus. Action and movement. Yeah.
Does this mean that we don't have to stay within 30 of Ellie anymore?
No more.
Different ruling now. That it's like it's
as Ellie sort of says that and starts to run off, can Ratho say anything? Or
yeah, you can burn a reaction to say something.
What the fuck is this? Where are we?
Oh no, it says for the duration each creature.
Yeah, so the ones that are within range when you cast it get the bonus.
So you don't have to stay within 30 feet.
But then you have a range of... Oh, I didn't say a range. You still need to stay within 30 to get the bonus, but I think if you step out of it and step back in, you can get it maybe.
Fine. You know what? I'm not gonna run the full lot. I'm just gonna go 30. And then I'm gonna hide as my action. There we go.
Okay. So you're gonna stay within 30 of the others? Okay.
And then hide. Mask of the Wilds.
All right. Roll stuff. Kevin, do you happen to know the answer to that question?
I was actually going to ask if you wanted me to weigh in, but it's actually not super clear. So
yeah, the rules don't say directly.
Yeah, what you've just described is the most common interpretation that I've seen, and that we also use. Like you have to be within 30 feet to cast it, and then if you move out of it, you lose the bonus. But if you move back into the 30 feet, you get it back again.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, it's kind of like a moving aura, where, like, if you're within it, you get the shadowy stealth bonus that you get in MMOs.
Cool. What was it?
Fine. Yeah. Sorry. So that was very bad. Thank God for passed without a trace. So that was how much was my stealth again? 18.
Turns out good.
Really bad roll.
All right. And on the initiative after you, the Hellhounds are released.
No. No.
So it seems as though they don't have a particular direction to go in, so they actually just spray out. So they're going at 40 for their movement. I don't think that's close enough, so this one is going to keep going. Okay, to about there. So they basically spread out. So you've got one at the far left, one here, and one here. That is the end of their movement and their action. And now you can see why you're in initiative. Harathia, you're up.
Right. Literally no one answered his question.
Yeah, literally, yes. Nobody answered.
So it's like, yeah, Brian, come here. Now, I know with the whole initiative thing, we don't move at the same time. Does that mean I have to hold my initiative in order to move with Brian?
It's spooky action at a distance. This is a quantum initiative. So sometimes you can move together and sometimes you can't. No, the way I've handled it with Samita and Adalbear is to say, well, your initiative is pretty similar, so you might as well move at the same time. Yours and Brian's is a bit out of sync, but I'm happy, while it's just movement, to move both of you at the same time, because it makes it less stupid.
Clunky, and yeah. Okay, fine. Well, I am, as I have been since last session, moving stealthily. And I'm not going to go faster than I can and remain stealth. But Karathia is going to sort of, look around like, well, the only one who seems to know what she's doing is Alithia. So
He does not.
I only said seems to know what they're doing.
Yeah. In the Valley of the Blind, the one man is.
Without saying anything, he's effectively going to go where she's going.
Okay. So where would you like to end up? Because she seems to be heading for the water, and she did mention water as well, I think. So.
All right. Well, if Karathia can see that is water, then he'll head direct.
Sorry, it's a little bit loose because of all the planes.
Yeah, so he's going to go in a straight line towards that water.
All right.
And just, I mean, if he's going to be keeping an eye out for the Hellhounds, obviously, because they're coming out, although they don't appear to know where we are. But he's also, because he's going to be generally wearing on edge, pay attention to what's going on in the center area as well.
So there's no movement from the person that let the Hellhounds go. That humanoid is standing still. Quite difficult to see. Not wearing, but seems to have a cloak of shadow. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Morbid. But the ones behind it. So just to recap, you have a vast, hunkered down, four-legged creature here, and then there's another. Sorry, is that right? No, this is the lady. This is the four-legged creature, and then there's an army back here. You can see movement from the army now. It's actually quite hard to see. Roll perception. 3. The shadows on the edge of the plane are constantly shifting, and you see some movement from the army, but you're unsure what is moving or where to.
Yeah, actually, I got that wrong. It was a 4.
Yeah, that makes the difference.
All the difference, yeah.
All right. So I'll bear in mind that Bran is actually is towards the end of initiative if it turns out to matter. But
Okay. I mean, because I haven't done anything except move. Oh, mind you, can I use like bonus action or whatever it is? I'm not familiar with the terminology because I literally haven't read the book yet. To go further in stealth mode, or is that not a thing?
Use a dash action as a bonus action.
oh, sorry, I assumed you did that. So I run half movement when you're in stealth. So I did your full movement, assuming that you were doing an action move.
That's fine. That's okay.
All right, cool. All right, so we're now back on the water plane.
Zooming through layers.
Yeah.
I had a quick question. So when we're moving, we are also using the dash action, correct?
Yes.
To move full speed forward. Okay.
Yeah, but so you're at half speed. So you're actually. Did I do 30 last time? Maybe I didn't. I don't think I did I? Yeah. So you'd actually be both in. Apologies. You'd actually be more like here. Yeah. So you're doing 30 each round.
Cool.
All right. So both of you make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm not going to roll again because that's an actual 20.
Mine wasn't good this time. 11.
11. All right. So you suffer the same as Samita. The cold is getting to you now, and you take 11 points of cold damage.
They're not in the really cold water, but they're still damaging.
Good point. Sorry, I was remembering that Samita was in the cold, but she wasn't. But yeah, rewind that. Thank you.
Adalbert breathes a huge sigh of relief. He doesn't breathe because he's underwater, but you know.
And now I'm drowning.
Outgoing
I
breath.
can give it back,
Exactly.
Simon.
Apologies. Yeah, rewind that. You don't take any damage. You are in warmer water. This water is flowing directly around the fire plane anomaly that's ahead, and therefore is superheated right next to it, and much warmer where you are now. All right, let's start again. Adalbert, where would you like to go?
Yes. Well, I mean, this is our third round or fourth round underwater?
This is now your fourth.
Fourth. Realistically, how long can we hold our breath for? I mean, this is what, 6 to 18? Starting 18 to 24
minutes.
seconds.
It's in minutes rather than seconds.
Oh, well, that's jolly good.
It's minutes plus your con modifier.
Not as good, but super. So
I will look it up exactly, but it's quite in rounds it's a long time.
Oh, that's fine. Because I'm trying to think.
In which case, you know, it's about half a minute.
If I'm recognizing that being in the warmer water is actually, you know, going to prevent us from freezing to death, I'd like to remain in it as long as possible.
Okay.
But do I also get the idea that how close can I get to the fire anomaly without the water? Do I feel without the water kind of melting our skin? Is it the very light blue?
As long as you, as long as you stay 5 to 10 feet away, you should be fine.
Okay, so essentially, what I'd like to do, kind of if everyone kind of agrees, is seeing the pull we had, kind of do a curve back into the cold around the whirlpools and then back into the warm section.
Okay. So 35, 10, 15. So yeah, you sort of end up there. You can't both achieve that. I feel like Samita's getting the raw end of this deal.
Just to choose
I mean,
well,
you can choose who goes first. It doesn't have to be Aldri in front. It's up to you.
No, it's fine. But entering the cold water, does that make us roll out saving throws?
No. It's being in the cold water at the start of your turn that's where you take damage.
So at this point, am I okay and Smita not?
Samita would have to roll a dex save because of the vortex.
Oh, but she's in warm water.
Yeah.
Oh. Slightly. Oh. Which is worse for you.
Okay.
I will remain in the cold water because I have advantage on those. Even though my nat 20 goes to waste.
Oh.
Yeah. Roll nature, Samita.
Okay. Yeah, that's not going to do it. 7.
There's a lot of water around. It's cold.
Yeah, I hate nature.
Blinding insight.
All right. So Zaymar, you're up.
I am literally up.
Yep.
He will. Did he see that hellhound coming across? I don't understand. Can I see past this fire or not?
So the reason that Harathia, I mean, some of this is in Harathia's head, so it's a bit metagaming, but the reason that Harathia felt as though they were relatively safe behind the fire is because it seems as though being on shadow would mean you don't experience light very much. So it's quite blinding for shadow creatures, but for you, it's actually the opposite. It does destroy your night sight a little bit, but apart from that, it's more like just having a fire in front of you.
Right, okay. Do I think, so looking around, do I see which way, do I think that hellhound has got any sense of that we're there or not?
It won't have until its next turn, when it's going to be looking for people or things.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've got my bow out still. So what I'm wondering is whether I could fire off an arrow towards the raft but I think that the hellhound's got direct sight towards the raft, hasn't it, at this point?
Yeah.
I'm trying to create a distraction, but if it's got direct sight, then I think that's fine. Okay, in that case, I won't do that, actually. So what I'll do is I'll just move stealthily towards Harathia, and it looks like, and along the way, I will use so I'll use stealth plus the movement. Oh, sorry, I'm already stealth. I'll use the dash plus the movement to catch up to Harathia.
Okay.
And sort of move past Alithia. And then I will use my main action to scan the army and everything about it using my spyglass.
All right. You're scanning the army.
I'm looking like everything, like out there. He's not seen any of this, so he is going to use his spyglass to just examine everything. If he just quickly just sort of scan over to see if he can see anything, because he's got no idea what's going on there. He also is interested in the fact that there's 3 hellhounds, and he just got some kind of weird thing in his head.
Roll perception normal.
Okay.
The reason he's rolling normal is because he's got a damaged eye by using a spyglass. Those are wondering what that's about.
Okay, that is 18. No, sorry, 20.
Okay, so you immediately spot that out of the direction where I mentioned there was an army, there are horses They have riders and they're heading in your direction at a gentle trot. So they'll end up sort of around here at the beginning of next round.
How many horses?
There are 6.
Right. And can I see a humanoid figure that looks like it might be about to run?
No.
Okay, what about a huge hand? Was it a huge shadow hand? Anything matching that?
It wasn't particularly massive. It wasn't.
Oh right.
It was an image of a hand. That's all.
It was what?
An image of a hand.
But it was shadowy.
Yes.
But held up like that.
Yes. Just like that.
Okay. Well, I will whisper as soon as I'm in close proximity that there's 6 horses approach. Did anybody else get that image in your heads?
Oh, I can burn a reaction.
Yes, but I don't know what we can do about it, so let's run.
Okay.
Should we talk to these big women?
Not yet. Says Zamar with a slight plead in his voice.
All right. So Samita, you've got inspiration from Kira. Thank you, Kira.
Yes, thank you, Kira.
I think you are biased, but I won't hold it against you. That's fine.
What were you saying, Chris? Sorry.
I was just saying, the second of those, skeleton head things, tokens, is the woman, like the ones that we saw in the pit.
Yes.
But much bigger.
Yeah.
What's the smallest one of those skull thing tokens?
Just a humanoid shape. A cloaked, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, just standing there.
Classic cloaked shadow.
Glowing red eyes, but this woman had glowing red eyes too, didn't she?
There's a lot of glowing red eyes. Everything on the map that is not you has glowing red eyes.
Okay. So not noticeably different in nature to the woman.
No. There's not a lot to distinguish between them. The hulking creature is definitely more like an animal, whereas the woman and the shadowy humanoid are people, as far as you can tell. All right. So that was we were on Zamar's turn, I think. Just
sorry.
now,
In
right?
response to Zamar, I think I was muted. You said something about horses, and I said, well, "I don't see any horses here."
Oh, that's right. You're on a 4. Yeah. He's not seen horses for a while. All right. Bran is done. So we're back. Rolled around. Baha held. Okay, he's going to do that. Alithia, you're up.
What was Raina's go?
Raina, Samita and Adalbert are moving it as one. So
Okay, fun.
they are currently together.
Or
Okay.
Zamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, he's planning on drowning one of us soon.
Okay. Cool. Fun. So whose go is it?
Yours.
Oh, mine. Am I 30 foot away from the planar thing?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You are just on the edge. You'd have to do something else to get in.
Fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up just to the edge, and then when everyone joins me, I'm going to say, "With me!" And then when everyone joins me, I'm going to jump in. Can I do that as my action?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was stealthing, by the way. Oh, I can't.
That gives
It's
you
only-
half, yeah.
Yeah,
Half
so
movement.
I would be 35.
So yeah, you'd be more like that.
Okay. Shit. Okay. Can I tell you what. Because it's movement to go through, right? So
Yeah.
when everyone joins me, I will go the rest of the way as part
yeah.
of my dash.
No, that works.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Hellhounds. All right, so we have some pretty good stealth rolls, and we have an 18 from.
I haven't actually rolled mine yet. You didn't want me to.
Yeah, you'll need to in a sec. All right, so that's that. So yeah, roll stealth plus 10. Harathia.
24.
Oof. Nice.
Marty breathes a sigh of relief. Oh no, we've got Mr. Tail sticking out coming in.
With plus 10, I mean,
Plus 10.
to give them
Yes.
credit.
Plus 10.
Doesn't need it. Bloody hell. That
Excellent.
is insane. Bran is almost invisible. He obviously likes the shadow plane. He's like slinking down and moving between the wafting shadow. Baha actually doing quite well so far. That pass without trace is pretty helpful because Baha was not great. Oh wow! I rolled stealth for him last session for some reason. Got the same roll. Interesting. All right. So the Hellhound spends its action looking around. So you can just see on the edge of this fire, ring of fire here, there's a dark shape against the flame, and the head is rotating slowly with the dull red glow coming from its mouth, and all of its tentacles are gently floating around in the air, all 6 of them, and it doesn't see anyone, so it is going to choose a random direction to go in. Mr. Harris, would you like to roll a luck dice?
I was about to say, if I roll a luck dice, I wonder if I can use my own luck on this dice.
You can, yes. Yeah.
Okay, right. That's why I get the... Okay, come on. Okay, so what am I doing? Rolling this high? Or...
Yes. If you roll high, it'll go the other way.
Right, come on. Okay, that was 10. Slap bang in the middle. So I guess I'll roll again.
Okay.
Keep it.
You've got a plus 10.
Huh?
That's not...
You've
No,
got-
this is not stealth.
No.
This is just
Oh.
pure luck.
I wouldn't re-roll that.
So-
If 10's neutral, you might get it worse.
Yeah, but
You said high, didn't you? For luck. Higher is better or not?
yeah, higher is better.
But
Yeah.
if say 1 is going to be directly at us and 20 is directly away from us, 10 they're not going to get any closer.
Yeah, but
I don't know if
you
that's
don't have to
working,
take the worst roll.
It's too late. I've done it anyway. It's a 14, so...
Right.
And I'm taking a luck thing.
Okay. So it actually goes sprinting off, not quite in the opposite direction, but 10, 15, 20.
Uh-oh. That
Oh.
sounds like not so good because it's heading towards the raft.
It is heading towards the raft, yeah.
No, that raft is fucking huge.
We're not going to carry that raft.
That
maybe
raft
it'll
might
just
be
keep
on
it.
the shadow plane for a while, I suspect. Just leaving it behind.
Yeah. It'll be like, aha, I found intruders. A raft?
All right, this one, I'm going to have a scan around. Same deal. Even worse than last time. You can roll again if you wish, Mr. Harris.
18. Otherwise I'm going to run out of luck really quickly, so thank goodness for that.
Okay. And the last one, disadvantage, I think. Yeah, that's got no idea. In fact, that was so bad that it's just going to mill in this general area. It is basically a dog, so. All right.
Mill around. Get another small piece of large round stone and start grinding corn.
Horatia.
All right. Just out of curiosity, based on what Mad said, she's sort of preparing to dash, to sprint, basically. Is it obvious to Rathia that that's what she's planning on doing?
Yeah, I think so.
In which case, he's going to keep on moving stealthily, but when he gets close to Alithia, he's just going to pick her up. And he's going to whisper, "You keep slow, they can't see us."
Alicia's like 5 foot. Rathia's like 7 foot plus.
Yeah. Quite easy. Stick her over his shoulder.
She'll be like, "What are you doing, Rathia?"
He's like, I could totally have made it.
So you don't have to allow him to pick you up. You can turn it into a grapple if you wish, or you can allow him. It's up to you.
I don't fancy the chances, though.
I'm going to try and persuade him. There we go. Before he picks me up, so I'm going to be like, no, I need everyone to come. I've got enough movement. I just need everyone to be with me before we go through.
Yeah. Well, we can all go through together without running. We ain't doing nothing to let them know we're here.
I wasn't going to run.
Apart from that raft, obviously. But...
Anyway, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I am going to assume that. Are you holding for everyone to arrive, Alithia?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So while this is all in theory happening at the same time, each round is supposed to be concurrent. So I would say that you can also tell the distinction. You believe her when she says that she's not going to dash, that she was going to creep forwards, Horatia, just in case that wasn't clear. But
all right, but from a game point of view, if I carry her and then go into the thing, then
the rest of them don't get the +10.
How do you mean the rest of them don't get +10?
She's waiting for everyone to go together so that all of you arrive with +10 and go through with +10 on stealth.
Haven't we just got that anyway for the duration of the
Only if she's within 30.
So we have to maintain the distance all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd established that it was at the moment of casting.
So you have
if
to
you
be
leave the
near
30 foot, you will lose your +10. If you then rejoin the 30 foot, you'll gain it again. That's the rule that we're going to follow.
Fine. Well, okay, in which case I'll put it down again.
Right.
I'll pat his bicep as like, thank you.
I'm just pleased to see you again.
It was a hug, a weird hug, a Horatia hug.
All right. So that was Horatia Adalbert. Where are you going now?
Well, I think the plan is to kind of go up and round following the warm.
Okay.
I rolled another natural 20 on my Constitution save.
Nice.
All
right. In which case, you're fine.
I would like to pull to the right if possible, so
Sure.
the square diagonally behind. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of look at Adalbert for a second, and my head just goes towards the nearest stuff.
Boy, you're about to have a shock, aren't you? All right. Cool. Zaymar.
Just go straight for the. He's more than happy to be getting out of the shadow plane, but then there's a part of him that's like what, are we going to the plane of water? No. And then he's just like, as he's going in.
All right, so you're all creeping forwards and then stepping through into the water plane as stealthily as you can. So you do so without being spotted, which is fine. I can't actually do that in one move. Oops.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm not making things easy for you at all. I'm jumping between planes.
No. This is what this is designed for. I've just got to do it step by step. So yeah, Samita and Adalbert, as you come swimming around the corner, there's a sudden flurry of movement, and everyone, without a raft, comes into the water to join you.
Right.
Everyone needs to roll, who just travelled, needs to roll Arcana. There is a fire conjunction here and a void here. So if you mess up too much, you might land in the fire. So everyone roll Arcana.
One last thing is, when they get through, I put water walking on before, and I think that's still working. So we will shoot off to the surface.
So what you don't remember probably is we established that shooting off to the surface is down on this map.
Okay.
And
okay,
therefore
fine.
not helpful. So it's probably best not to,
Okay.
In fact, if you can... Is it it's not concentration, is it? It's just a duration thing.
No.
All right, cool.
It was,
So yeah, everyone...
Can you consciously end the spell? I mean, obviously doesn't know it's not useful yet. But when she does find out,
I can drop it.
Cancel it?
Yeah, I can drop it. I can drop it anytime I want.
All right, so everyone roll Arcana.
16.
Okay,
13.
you're fine. You're fine.
30-20.
Right. You're really good at this. I'm going to start giving you a bonus just for going between planes.
Lithia, she's going to have be known as Plane Walker.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
so
nice,
cool.
Isn't it?
Lithia
That's amazing. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. So you've got +2.
Oh, sorry, 21.
You've got +2
so +2
from now on.
So that would...
Not this one, but
okay.
from now on, going between planes. That was it from the players, wasn't it? So. Yeah. Baha and Bran are not so good. So somebody could somebody roll 2 luck dice, for one for Bran and one for Baha.
I'll roll Baha's.
Okay.
Jarathi, do you want to roll Bran?
I don't, but I will. I feel I ought
I was about to roll there, and I was like, no, right, that's fine.
Oh, 19.
Woo!
10.
10.
Yeah.
That's all right. Could be worse.
Could be better.
Did you get 19? Did you say, Mr. Roberts?
I did.
Okay, so 10. 10. That's very in the middle, isn't it?
Hopefully not in the middle of fire.
It's neither great nor bad. I'm going to say...
Was he holding on to us when he came through?
There. No, nobody did the holding on routine.
Okay, fine.
So, everyone else, where would you like to land?
Within 30 feet of everyone.
Hrathir will land where he can grab hold of Bran.
Okay. So, I'll put you together. Zaymar, as you kind of started a lot of this leaping, where do you want to be first?
Probably right where I was, actually.
Well, you have to be on the circumference of the void.
All right. Okay, so, yeah, close to that part as possible.
Okay, so there's a little bit of vortex here, which is a problem. So you're all going to have to work out where to go based on that.
I see. There's like a gap on the other side in between the flame and the... So right next to Baha, there's like a thing there. Is that place that you can go? So
you could go here, yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay here. It's just everyone else.
Okay. All right, well...
So potentially, say, Hrathir and Bran could be there, and then Alithia, you could be
Would
here.
I be able to, like, come out and then swim so that I'm in the middle of like away from the vortex, or is that not possible?
You have to choose somewhere on the periphery of the void.
There's fine.
Okay, cool. So
I'm
the
not
only
being
problem,
burnt, am I?
not yet. The only problem with here is if you stay too long in this. So if you end your turn in this circumference, you'll start taking fire damage, or steam damage actually, because the fire is hitting the water and turning to boiling steam. All right, so that's where you land. So yeah, Samita and Adalbert, you see your companions suddenly turn up in a flurry of water and bubbles, and because of that, I will change the background because I've got the water plane ready.
Samita looks incredulous at all of them. Just a giant. If she could, she would mouth, "What the?"
And Adalbert's really impressed because you kind of started pulling him and they all appeared. He's like, "Oh, cool. Thanks, Samita."
She would take credit if she wasn't so completely flabbergasted by this circumstance.
All right. So yeah, you can swim underwater holding your breath for a minute plus your Constitution bonus, which in terms of initiative rounds is a really long time. Because you're in warm water and therefore unlikely to be dying anytime soon, I'm going to turn us out of initiative. You've lost your pursuers currently, so we won't be in initiative for a bit on the water plane. So feel free to start just saying what you want to do.
Yeah.
If I may, because there's a natural result of all of this. Samita doesn't know anything that's been going on, so her first action is to dive towards where they came from, seeing that they came from somewhere. And someone will have to stop her from trying to enter the vortex, or, sorry, the portal, physically, because she is going for it. She is not happy.
Yeah. Stop her!
Right, Samita is diving towards the void portal.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Adalbert, because they're kind of holding, he's trying to pull her back. And from my knowledge, Simon, kind of what we discovered last week, looking at the temperatures of the portals and kind of the light going through them, obviously, from the way I understand it, the light one that just came out of with the fire, that's, fire or difficulty. The one I'm swinging towards is the most balanced, and therefore the one I probably feel most likely leads to reality as we know it.
Are you, when you say swim towards, you mean shadow?
No, the one.
Sorry,
in the corner.
That's just a safe fire portal to go through. These ones near you can go through them, but you're going to take quite a lot of damage because the water has boiled and turned to steam in that area. So you don't want to be going through that portal unless you really have to, because you will literally be jumping through steam.
Because of that, do I have any understanding of whether I think some leads to different areas? I suppose my thinking, and Adam's thinking, whether it's accurate or not, is considering that's the least flammable of them, that's possibly the most likely to lead back to the mortal plane.
Roll Arcana.
18.
You think that the conjunctions are a little bit haphazard and random, and the nature of each conjunction doesn't necessarily tell you that much about the plane itself or what you can find on the other side. So ultimately, you just don't have enough data at this point. However, while you're going through this thinking and trying to work out what's going on, you are effectively now grappling Samita if you're trying to hold her back. So both of you roll athletics. Meanwhile, what is everyone else doing?
I'm gonna motion, and then I'll say I'll do. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Again, you may not remember from last session, but you can speak. You're just underwater, so it does literally come out as blah, 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 but you can make sounds. Yeah.
Get within 30 feet. I'll make us breathe.
I rolled an 11 on the athletics.
I rolled 5.
I used my inspiration to get this 11.
Thanks, Kira. I'm not sure that's exactly what you intended.
But she's very motivated.
All right, so Samita breaks free of Adalbert, who is lost in thought. Go for it.
Swimming straight at Zaymar, by the way, because he's in the way.
If I hear Alethea say that, do I see Adalbert react to that? Or not?
You just see Adalbert was trying to hold Samita back. I don't know if Samita had any reaction to.
I gesture to both of them.
Samita appears to be swimming as fast as she can directly for the void, regardless of what other people have said. I think, is that correct, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that the initial movement actually probably looks like she's just trying to join the rest. It's just that as soon as she arrives next to Zaymar, she tries to dive right past him. So it's probably Zaymar who has to try to stop her or harass her.
Oh my god!
Because she's trying to pass between the two of them.
Rathia intends to sort of pull Bran away from these water seas, which they're near, looking for Alethea, really, because on the other side of that. So if he's within the vicinity and sees Samita trying to go back into the shadow plane, then yes, he'll grab her.
Okay, so I mean, obviously you can't represent this easily. It's a 3D map. So initially, when Samita first bursts towards the void portal in an obvious way, Zaymar and Alethea are the only people in close proximity. So it's kind of.
I'm going to try and swim forwards and go like this, just try and stop her and go in like in the middle of her way and try and pull her with me.
I've heard Alethea say that she's going to try and help us. So, and I trust her that she's got some kind of spell up her sleeve or whatever.
Okay.
So I will say, Alethea will help us, stay here.
Okay. So that's effectively a grapple between Alethea and Samita then?
Oh no.
Okay. May I actually use my acrobatics for the defense? Because
yes,
I think that's part of the.
Do I have to use athletics for the grapple?
Yes, unfortunately.
Sorry, I was directing that to Samita or whatever.
Yeah, she's very motivated to stop drowning.
I mean, I would if I thought that she was going to dive through, then I would stop her as well. But I mean,
fine, I will help you stop her because I'm not going to be able to stop her.
All right, so Zaymar roll grapple with Alethea advantage. So Harathia, just to be clear, reading anything from Samita is really hard. So I'm going to say that the 10-foot away that you are at the moment means you don't quite realise she's going for the void until she just looks like she's happy to see everyone and is joining everyone at that point. You're going to be slightly behind in reacting, but as soon as you see the grappling and so on, it's
quick question, by the way. Since the two of them had time to say something, would you say that I have time to use a bonus action to say something as well?
Yes.
While I'm okay. Yeah. Seeing Zaymar in my way, in Reyna's way, she is going to shout something and use one of her bardic inspiration. And you must subtract the number rolled. Oh shoot! Never mind. I will not. It's for saving throws. It's not. Ability checks. My apologies. I thought I could dissuade you. Yeah. No. Never mind.
All right. 10. So yeah. You got 10. Did you say?
Yeah, on acrobatics.
Okay. And Zaymar?
Right. What do I have to roll here?
You're rolling a athletics with advantage.
I'm rolling what?
Athletics with advantage.
Yikes. 80. Let's see. That's 17.
Okay. 17.
But with advantage. Oh no, that was terrible.
All right. So Zaymar, what kind of hold have you put on to Samita?
Essentially, I will just basically just hold behind her, just get my I basically would do the only thing that Zamar would normally think of, like a grapple, which would basically be like,
Oh, as if you were going
but,
for the
like,
thing.
without
Okay.
the stabby bit. Basically.
Oh no!
That famous
Dreams, I was
without a stabby bit maneuver. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting
You're
after like
dramatic.
I was expecting like him to like sweep her off her feet or something.
She's not on her feet.
Yeah, like sweep her up, like a bridal carry or something.
Zamar has no idea.
All right. So while all this is going on, I didn't want to go back into initiative because it gets a bit clunky. But Horatia, you are aware now of what's going on. You can also join in the grapple if you wish.
Does it look as though Zamar's got it under control?
Not really. He looks like he's a bit in two minds as to what exactly he's doing.
All right, I'm not going to let go of Bran, so I've got my hand up in his fur.
You can grapple with one arm.
Okay, so with the other one, I'll just which part of Samita is nearest me?
Leg, I would assume, swimming. So
Yeah.
Well, I'll just I'll wrap it around her waist then, and just lock on.
okay. All right.
And I'll try and like, I haven't got any arms left, so I'll sort of I'll direct at Alithia and as if to say, come on, get on with it.
Yeah, fine.
Adalbert will swim to roughly where the two mini vortexes are, just on his current side, and point to where he wants everyone to go.
Okay. So Adalbert is signalling.
Where is he?
Between those two diamonds, I think.
Oops.
Yes.
Does he come? Is that within 30 feet of me?
I believe so.
He is, yeah.
So as soon as everyone's within 30 feet of me, I'm going to cast water breathing on everyone because I prepared it just in case.
Just in case you went on the elemental plane of water. Perfect.
No, because we were going on top of the because we were going on top of the.
No.
Amazing. I don't care.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Because I thought we might have to go underneath the water because it was like tea kettle to get into the
Yeah, you
chapel.
did actually discuss it before you prepared the spell. So I was like, oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah. So we can all breathe now.
Okay, well, so somebody please explain to me what water breathing does. What is it? Just you can.
So I'll be like, take a deep breath. It's okay. You can breathe water now.
Zamar's gonna actually just go like that straight away.
And it's like breathing in air, which is weird because you can see water everywhere.
And then he's just gonna be like this, and then turn Samita around to face him and just go like that.
Okay, so in the struggle, Samita was not taking care of how much air she might have escaping, and she's still very wild. Like, there's a distinct, survival panic. She does not deal with this particular situation. So it takes like probably 3 or 4 attempts to get her to notice before she...
Samita, you can breathe now. Rest easy. And I will try and use my persuasion to calm her down.
Okay.
I'll basically turn her head to face me and just like look straight at her eyes. And say,
Okay.
"This is okay."
Okay, yeah, she'll breathe in. And then she goes limp as well.
Samita, roll perception.
Oh, that's not going to do it. 9. That's wet.
Right. All right. I sent you a message.
You failed to see that Zamar was lying, and he pushes you into the vortex.
Yeah, but she'll stop struggling against Horatia and Zamar.
All right. So you're currently kicking water. You can breathe easily, thanks to Alithia, and Adalbert has pointed you in the direction of a fire conjunction that looks a bit safer than the others, but you can talk easily. I'm going to say that because you can breathe water, you can also speak normally. So you can discuss what you want to do.
Say, can someone tell me what the fuck is going on?
We've been drawn into the different planes of existence.
What? Really? I thought you were bullshitting. This is real.
Of course it's fucking real. Why? Oh, whatever.
Different planes with, shadow planes and other bollocks. Come on. Didn't sound very likely.
Nevertheless, where are we going?
Back to the real world. Why couldn't we have gone to the plane of nature and fluffy animals?
Look. The shadow plane had a crack, I don't know, one of these sort of things in it. It was the same shape as the one in the temple in Rogerton. Don't that mean that's the way to get back?
It's one way. If we've been drawn into these different realms, then one would imagine the central point.
Wait a minute. If that crack takes us back, would it not take that army back too?
Yes.
Is that what that creature is for? The one with the claws?
This is a wonderful conversation. However, I wonder if we have it when we can, step on land.
Let's move. Zamon's actually fine underwater now that he can breathe, and he swims around like quite a bit. He's just like even does like a little spin, and he's like off basically.
Professor's going to look a bit scornfully at him. Oi, Ellie, how long does this last?
So we have got 24 hours. Yeah.
What, we can breathe water for 24 hours?
Mhm.
Fuck me.
I will say, during this time, as they're conversing, Reyna kind of let herself drift off a bit, and once the panic is settled, she just leans forward and she just screams as loud as she can, just pure frustration. I don't know if it carries through the water, but
I'm gonna give her a big
does,
hug.
It's very loud.
I'm gonna give her a big hug and soothe her with patting her hair.
She's floating around.
Gives you if she wasn't in the water, she'd be crying. She just gives you the most scornful look, just. She's very angry. Not with you specifically, just with everything.
With life, yeah, I get it.
Look,
before-
if we start breathing air and shit, does that mean we can't breathe water no more?
No, we can if we go back in the water.
This isn't a mermaid tale, Horatia.
He's nodding. He's cool.
So Zamar is swimming off. He's going to go off between the two diamonds and then skirt round north. He's heading towards what he thinks is the church area.
Albert's going to kind of try and stop you and say, if everyone would actually listen to me, Reyna and I have, before your very timely arrival, Ellie, have been slowly drowning and freezing in this watery hellhole. The channel we are in at the moment has been warmed by the convergence of the fire plane and the water plane. These steaming vents you see linking them are causing the water around us to warm up. That's the only thing that's keeping us all alive right now. When we get out into the darker, pitch black of this moist wasteland, your bodies will very quickly shut down. If we need to go somewhere, we need to go quickly, we need to go together.
Okay. But I think we should try and go to where the church should be.
So Zamar, having had a look at all of these places, do I have a quick idea of which I will indicate to everybody where I think the crack in the church might be?
On this plane?
Yep.
Somewhere here.
But that's the boil. Is that boiling or is that vortex?
That's vortex.
Nice.
When you say vortex, literally what you say is what you mean. It's just spinning round.
Yeah. So essentially, the fire conjunction has created an anomaly in this entire area, and the whole thing is rotating like a whirlpool. Some of the whirlpool seems to be centered on different areas on the map, which to Ilithia and Adalbert is a little strange. So there is some behaviour here that isn't natural.
All right, but I mean, if you get caught up in a vortex of water, you're just going to spin around.
Yeah.
Maybe get dizzy.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't sound so bad.
So, I mean, the plan is to like head over to the edge of the church, but I'll take Adalbert's guidance and stay in the warm area.
Okay.
But I will try and get as far up towards the edge of where I think the church is as possible.
Okay. So you sort of head in this direction.
That's it. Yeah.
As you do so, everyone roll intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not
My,
roll.
I'm not very good at this.
It's a 9 for Reyna.
Not very good. It is not going to be a 1 for me. So.
Is it a saving throw or is it just a check?
It's just a check.
I bloody hope it's not a saving throw.
My saving throw is better.
Critical failure is not my. Yeah.
16 overall.
16. Anyone else got around 15 or upwards?
I'm choosing not to roll.
I did not.
You're invisible, Kevin.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay, cool.
I had something in my eye, so...
No, that's cool.
It's all
just checking.
Red-eyed.
No worries. So...
Kevin lives and breathes D&D, so he's actually invisible.
Yep.
Sorry, Adalbert was the only one, was it? Okay.
So,
really?
There's something about this setup that doesn't make sense to you. You've heard from some of the others about beings on the shadow plane, and you're not entirely convinced that you've worked out exactly what their intentions are or what they're likely to be doing. But unfortunately, that's all that Adalbert can work out at this point.
Does he
Zima,
vocalize anything?
Before you go storming in, something's just not adding up.
What do you mean?
If that tear is there, and it's been there for a while from what we've gathered,
It has. I saw it myself.
then why, if the army's there, why haven't they gone through already?
This is a good point. It hasn't occurred to me.
There are beings, you say, on the shadow plane, but we do not know their intentions.
Is it possible that they're waiting for us to open it for them?
Possibly.
Lithia was going to talk to him, wanted to anyway. If it weren't for that army and hellhounds and shit, I might have thought it was a good idea.
Well,
what if Algerno's army is coming to fight this one?
possible. He certainly wanted to know exactly what I saw here. He wants to know what the army it is that he's going to face.
Precisely.
So, do you reckon his army's coming here to fight them? What does he want with this place, anyhow?
If he has domination over the shadow plane, he can traverse it and use it as he pleases, I imagine.
But
Well, I thought the
didn't
shadow
he say...
plane was all linked with mist and crap. That's his stuff, ain't it?
Wait a minute. He said this... Do you remember he said that this was his father? If this is father's doing, is
Do
he
you think
at war
that...
with his father?
Do you think that big woman's his mum?
Big woman?
There was like a huge woman. She was like 100 foot tall, and she had like these, you know, like the tentacly things that we see. She had like massive ones, and it was like a part of the shadow plane.
First time I believe that lithium might actually have something. If they're at war, then the friend of my friend is my enemy, so to speak. These people may actually join forces with us. They may help us defeat Aldri.
If
we can persuade them.
Wait, Aldri's got 40,000. Didn't look like 40,000 were waiting on the shadow plane, or did it? I mean, Simon.
You rolled a 4.
Yeah, okay.
You saw glints of weapons and some shapes of something holding those weapons, and there were a lot of them. But it was a long way off. It's in the shadow. There's no light apart from the fire plane, so you didn't see much. Zamos saw a lot more, and actually, I think I never finished that description. So after the horses came forwards, you can see that more glowing red eyes. So basically, as you scanned your spyglass across on the shadow plane and zoomed in, you could see these tiny dots on each person, and there were a sea of those red dots. So you wouldn't be surprised if they numbered in thousands. They did seem to be standing there with halberds, like it unusually seemed normal weapons. But the horses were very different. They had cloaked riders with bows who were moving forwards.
If they are there and they're not coming through, then presumably they are there to defend the shadow plane from Aldri.
It's possible, or they're waiting for a signal. Harathia Baha would know more of tactics, but can we, he kind of looks around, so few in number, make that assumption?
All I know is that lady was really sad. And I think we should try and find out why. Because maybe she's angry because she's sad, and that's why there's an army?
But if one or two get close to her for a conversation without being spotted, that might actually be worth it. What I don't get, though, is, let's say Zamar's right and they're waiting for Aldri's army. Well, it's like near enough 2 weeks away. What sort of army just stands there waiting for something? It's not going to be there for fucking 2 weeks.
A siege. They are under siege. They don't have anywhere else to go except to defend their border. They're here because they are waiting, perhaps. They
ain't under siege, are they?
I don't think they know when Aldri is due to arrive. They must be here to... it is possible that they are waiting to come through. There's some signal or something, but it's equally possible that they're expecting an attack imminently. We, I think, must find out.
Still don't feel right. You'd have some shit letting you know, and you wouldn't be just standing there or waiting like you're ready to fight. You'd be getting some kip in. You know, they'd send a messenger to come and get you, and then you'd come and fight at short notice. You don't just stand there.
I'm afraid I do not know how much sleep hellhounds need.
Yeah, do you think?
Well, I'm talking about, but the others look sort of humanoid. Is that the right word?
The undead need to sleep. I do not know what these creatures are, whether they even sleep or whether they even understand what the thing is sleep is. Either way, we must find a way to converse with this woman.
There was also a huge beast, which is very scary, and maybe it was the thing that made all the bites in the ship. Or maybe that was a dragon.
Wait, Albert, your Hall of Whispers, does that mean anyone can understand, or do you have to speak the same language?
He ponders for a moment.
Also, can the Hall of Whispers go between planes?
As to your question, Horathia, I don't know. I've only used it with those who understand. So I don't know. Ellie, I find your question is much more difficult to answer. And I suppose it depends on how we understand the convergence of planes. So typically, I could communicate with anyone in the hall up to a mile. And then he kind of pulls at some of his fabric. He has nice ruffles on his sleeve. And he goes, if we consider these are other planes, when they are connected, and it kind of pinches some of the fabric together, I don't know the distance between them at this point, and whether that is then affected.
So, you've mentioned signal a few times, and Adalbert's mentioned it, Zamar's mentioned it. Horathia, you also saw these images on the shadow plane, and you and everyone else who saw those images does immediately make a connection that hand that was part of the images you saw was a signal. You just haven't tried to interpret it yet. Yeah, muted, I think. If you're saying something. Horathia.
No, I wasn't muted. I was huffing. What I was trying to do is trying to think. Well, is starting a conversation about this thing that you prompted us about, is that unrealistic? Have we been talking about these at all in any way up till now?
It's up to you. Which is probably why you're huffing. It's up to you how your characters react to that. But
I'm going to wait for someone else to bring it up.
Okay.
If,
I sort of mentioned it for you in particular because, as Adalbert pointed out, you are the expert at military signals.
Right. Okay, that's a good enough justification for him to say something, I guess, because he's not necessarily as imaginative as some people. Zamar, you were saying something about seeing horses and shit in your head.
Yes. It was a flash. 6 horses, like the ones that we saw. That's what I saw over there.
I didn't see any horses, but anyhow.
Yes. 6 horses.
But the last thing was a hand, wasn't it? Like that. Now, if someone does that to you, what does it mean?
Stop, obviously.
Stop. Yeah, exactly. Now, we ain't stopped. We ain't done anything aggressive, neither.
What do you think that was sent to us?
I don't know. This is not exactly my area. This is all fucking weird.
Roll Arcana, those with Arcana proficiency.
Ooh, very nice. 21.
24.
Wow. So Adalbert, you didn't get this telepathic signal, but it's being talked about now a bit. Telepathic signals tend to be directed at people or a person deliberately. So either they were directed at you as a group and that's why you received it, or, and you're beginning to, both you and Alithia are beginning to think about, actually especially Alithia, how shadow plane beings perhaps communicate. For instance, the Astravi.
Mm-hmm.
And if the message was not for you and was in fact for each other, then perhaps the message was an order to stop or hold. Hold what? 6 horses came forwards. You didn't see anyone running. Perhaps the person running was you. And that is where we'll end the session.
Oh my god! That was really, really well done.
Yeah, that's really good.
Wow.
All the questions.
That is awesome. That was amazing. Thank you. Wow.
You're welcome.
Oh, sugar. Oh, that is so cool. But also, what do I do with this?
Luckily, you've got a week to think about it.
Yeah, I know.
Come in handy.
We're gonna have to start up a text thread.
Yeah, true.
We try not to metagame, but like I think.
Well, Zeno wasn't part of that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you would think about it. Very cool. Whew.
Wow.
Seems like
Oh my god.
Seems like we've been doing this a long time. It's just a simple trip to Rogerton. 20 sessions.
Rocketon's in there somewhere.
I know.
Yeah, it's our
I mean,
25th
that's the
session,
point.
isn't it?
You have to tell, Aldrin or what you saw at Rogerton. This is a different plane, so while we're still kind of in Rogerton.
I know
Rogerton?
there is layers of deception here. I know.
Yeah, you just say to him, yeah, we didn't quite get there.
That would be lovely.
Didn't quite make it.
Rogerton was covered in water. That's what we saw. And there was lava.
It's true.
That's all we saw.
It's true.
Oh, thank you, Garcia.
Thanks, Garcia. Please follow and subscribe. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. We will be going to the next part of our session, which is a Q&A between myself and the players. If you have any questions, then please do pop them in chat, and I will try and get to them and ask them for you. Thanks, Crash Cat.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm going to. Can you put me last in questions because I need to run away to have a comfort break. Very
Yeah.
quickly.
No, absolutely. Of course.
And then I will come back. Sorry, I didn't do questions last week. I'm definitely going to do them, but I just need.
It's like homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Of course. Well, if Kevin and Matt are verbose, then it won't matter.
That's true.
Question for Kevin. Is there a plane that Samita would have preferred to be on?
Are we going by the traditional planes in D&D?
Yeah.
Does Sigil count? The city?
Oh, no, not locations, planes.
Right. Yeah, because it's a convergence of all the planes. That's why I thought.
Ah, right.
Because it's a city, that's where she would go. Anywhere that is somehow has civilization. So probably the Nine Hells would be good for her. Yeah. She,
Fair enough.
She would be quite at home.
All right, question for Matt. What is it like for Adalbert seeing the origin of some of his magic?
What do you mean?
The elemental planes are where some of your magic comes from. So when you cast Firebolt, you are channeling the plane of fire.
I mean, he'd probably enjoy it more if he wasn't slowly drowning or freezing, you might
fair.
say. But I think he doesn't know where the others came from, just that they've been to the shadow plane. And I think there's a part of him that is slightly jealous that, he's been stuck here slowly freezing and drowning, while the others have got to explore. But I think at the moment it's probably he's likely able to think about it now, but at the beginning it was more as Raina was that survival instinct, kind of taking care of himself, taking care of her, and well, however he views himself doing so. she probably has different ideas, and trying to get somewhere they can breathe.
Yeah. You did get the sort of more difficult end of this. All right, question for Mr. Roberts. As Harathia becomes more and more familiar with the arcane, just through experience, how do you think he'll adapt?
Yeah, I don't know. At the moment, he's not adapting particularly well. I mean, he's taking stuff on face value, but as far as sort of dealing with it, it's not really. He's more noticeably than ever sort of leaning on other people's expertise. So how do I think he'll adapt? I don't know. His sort of lack of imagination might be in his favour a little bit, in a sense that, okay, that's actually true. This is real. Fine. Okay, let's do it. But trying to make sense and I don't know, make use of the properties of these different places. I think that's possibly going to be beyond him, but we'll just have to see.
All right. Question for Mads. In a way, the plains are inhospitable, but how is it for Alithia being somewhere so elemental?
I think she just gets it a little bit more, just because she's very in tune with nature, and there's certain aspects of this in all of the plains. So like volcanoes and things like that, the oceans. It kind of like, it's a little bit like the shadow plane also. It just is. It's like wonderful and terrible all at the same time. And so, like, this is something that she kind of feels with each place. She's a bit more in tune with it. And so I think that's why she's not that scared to kind of jump around between the planes themselves. It's more about what issues they pose that's causing a problem, because, huge ass army, not so keen. Freezing to death, not so keen. Boiling alive, again, not so keen. But, fire is pretty cool.
Right. Question for Mr. Harris. Now that Zamar's ordered Bran in extremis, is he thinking of getting a direwolf companion?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would not go over very. So, for starters, like any kind of ordering of around of it, he's under no illusions that it would not do whatever it was that he wanted to. So, no, that would be a bad idea. And he given that, I mean, obviously he's mildly impressed with some of Bran's like stealth abilities, but at the same time he still keeps thinking back to the tail sticking out from behind the boat.
He's had some bad
it's been
bad times.
So, no, not really. I guess the thing that Zamar's really, absolutely not. No question whatsoever. He does not need a companion. I work alone.
All right. Question for Kevin. Now that Samita is getting better at speaking with the new tongue, how does she feel about her punishment?
I think that's quite complex, and due to reasons, I still cannot highlight much about it, but she's happy to be able to speak again. So the immediate depression has abated slightly. But other than that, I won't go into it in any more detail.
No worries. Question for Matt. Adalbert has faced danger frequently, but not without Baha at his side. How did he feel on the plane of water?
He's glad he wasn't there alone, but it was still lonely in that kind of Samita's the person he knows the least, and I think he's very aware that he's probably not her favourite person in the world. But I think he thinks they're working on it, But yes, it was very, very lonely. And it's kind of that idea of if we die here, if we drown, will they ever know? If anything happens to Vaha in my absence, will I ever know? And as a player, that was really hard. Kind of seeing him just kind of leap from portal to fire pit, from portal to fire pit. He didn't have the best luck, bless him. But yes, it was, as the kind of the bottom of the ocean is, it was a dark, cold, quiet, lonely place.
All right. Question for Mads. Alithia has so far made some sensible decisions. Is that because of where she is, or is this a sign of her evolving?
This is a sign of her trying really, really, really hard to work as a team and to kind of like check in with others. I think it's kind of, so this is what I found like quite difficult about playing her, is that kind of, at the one hand, she's quite a headstrong, like impulsive being, but on the other hand, she is desperate for friendship and wants to please people, and it's kind of like balancing those two is really, really difficult. So sometimes when I'm making decisions, I'm just like, no one is gonna like this, but I really, 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 really want to do it. Like the jumping through to the fire thing.
All right. Question for Mr. Roberts. How well does Harathia operate alone?
No, he's fine to operate alone. He's done it many times in his career. As leader of the gang, however, it's I don't know. His position is morphed, and therefore surrounding himself with people and telling people what to do. In order to do that, you need to not work alone. You see what I mean?
Mm.
So this is what he needs to be doing at the moment.
All right, fair enough. Question for Mr. Harris. Does Zaymar enjoy new experiences, adventures like this?
It depends. Like, Zaymar likes adventures where he has some vague idea of what's going to go on. The panic that suddenly surrounds him on virtually every single plane as he's traveling to it is not, because each time it's like completely unknown for him, so he's got nothing to base it on. So, if you're going into a city and infiltrating it or whatever, I mean, even if you don't know what's inside the city, you still have a vague idea of, I don't know, which way up is.
Yeah.
Part of that as well, it's like, why don't we ever end up on the plane of air? Like, just a nice plane of air where you're flying around and stuff like that. It's like, why not that? It's like super undangerous. You're just floating through the air. Like, nobody ever goes to the plane of air. Why is that? It's terrible. Terrible.
That's a good point. I would bring it up with your travel.
There's a global
rep.
conspiracy. I think DMs conspire to never send people to the plane of air. It's just like, hey, you're in this lovely floaty area.
The plane of air might have flying rocks in it, or
yeah. I mean, well, yeah. Even if you had a few flying rocks, it's fine. It's not that bad. You're still floating in the air.
It could still be pretty cold.
Don't care.
No, I think Alithia was mourning. No, it's fine. I was saying, like, why couldn't we have gone to the plane of nature and fluffy things?
Yeah, the plane of fluffy rabbits. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, question for Kevin. Did Samita spot that Adalbear needed to try harder to cast his spell? Did that make Samita feel less different?
More like, haha, now you know what it's like. She was not so compassionate or feeling accepted at that time. Yeah, no, it was definitely more schadenfreude than anything else. I had posted a question for Adalbear, by the way, just for later. A bit up. we spammed it away.
Yes, you did, didn't you? All right, question for Adalbert. What would Adalbert do if he got access to a simulacrum of himself, and how would it impact his relationship with Baha?
That's amazing. Dear. That's called a mirror, isn't it?
Depends which spell you use.
Well, it's a base physical copy of yourself. It can be in 5e.
I mean, honestly, he'd probably be extremely boring and just have really lengthy, mundane, but to them both, really exciting conversations about things that, frankly, none of you understand. But, like, finally having someone who just gets stuff and just bounce ideas off and, like, think of the work we could achieve if you could talk to someone who had the mental capacity greater than a goat.
What about Baha?
I mean, Baha's lovely. But
Oh my god, you just like, you're out of here. I found the perfect match.
It's never gonna last.
That's harsh.
Baha, their relationship is very much. I mean, Baha takes care of this. I'm just digging, aren't I? There's lots of love and affection there.
Let me just delete my next question. Who's Adalbert's favourite, most likely companion or whatever? Who would he look for in a relationship? Himself.
Well, no, this is it though. I mean, Aldri would only get the mental stimulation from himself, the love, the comfort. That's what he gets from Baha.
But what if he has to share that with the other Adalbert?
You know.
No, I don't. Mads.
Wait, I have a question. Like, how is this any different to talking to yourself?
What do you mean?
If you've got a simulacrum that you're bouncing ideas off, how is it any different to like having a monologue or a dialogue in your head?
Yeah.
Like, that is not helpful for progress.
You both think the same thing. You'd know what you were about to say, even if
Exactly.
it was a copy of you.
Well, only a bit
Exactly.
later. I mean, you know, it takes you to, even if you ask a question, then you still have to think about what the answer would be, and by that time your other half would have answered it.
And I suppose this goes into kind of what is a simulacrum. Is it someone who kind of, as a copy of you, can think like you, or is it just kind of a mirror image? Because if someone who has the same thought processes, then you could have that conversation because you have a question and they know where you're coming from, so you can build on it. If it's a mirror image, then that would be, you know, boring and pointless.
I'd wager several gold ducats that that would be the first conversation that they would both
Yeah.
have.
How does this work? I don't know. How does this work?
What if you're thinking what I'm thinking?
But I am. Oh. All right. Question from Mads. Alithia felt a connection to the plains as Zamar spoke with her. How important is that to her?
A connection to Zamar?
No, to the plains.
Let's be careful.
I was just checking the question in case I said it wrong.
You know, it's just like, what? Is that why Alithia's able to speak to him? I was so confused.
You don't
I
know.
was just
You don't. I was about to say technically, that's the wrong word. You don't actually know what the reason is.
How important is the connection to? She doesn't realize it. I don't think, because I didn't realize it until now. Yeah, I don't think she realizes that she's got like an inherent connection to them. I think like it's like you know when you get to A levels or like kind of upper six, and all of like the stuff that you've kind of built up within your studies of like maths or English or whatever, it all comes to a head. And like you understand everything because you have like this foundational basis and it just makes sense. that's kind of what the elemental planes feels like, as opposed to like I have this soul deep connection of something within me is rooted with something within these other places. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've enabled. I didn't realise symbols and emotes are two different options, so you can now spam exclamation points.
I mean,
if you want.
I thought that was very apt. That like Adalbert's never was night botted.
Yeah.
A question for Mr. Roberts. As Harathia hid by the fire, what priorities were going through his head?
Wait. Hid? That's an incorrect characterization. He was strategically positioning himself such that the enemy couldn't see him.
As Harathia did that, what were the priorities going through his head?
Priorities? Oh my goodness! It was like, what the fuck is this? Priorities were out the window. It was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? With lots of exclamation marks. I'd have got slapped by the Nightbot for sure.
So harsh, that Nightbot.
Right. So yeah, no, he was trying to get any sort of handle on the situation, and not doing a very good job of it.
Okay, Mr. Harris. As Alithia popped up and the situation became clearer, what was Zamar's initial plan?
Sorry, what was the order of that question again? As Alithia popped, so after Alithia popped up, or
Well, after.
after? No idea whatsoever. Like, what the hell was it? He was about to dive through this thing, and then Alithia arrived, went blub blub blub, and dived back through it. And he was like, "That's what I was about to do." But now with more conviction, I don't know. It's like, yeah, so he was highly confused. But yeah, he obviously thought that Alithia had come back to get him. So, so he was just wanting to. One of his overriding concerns was to get Bran back to Harathia in one piece, so that Harathia wouldn't blame Zamar.
You turn up without Bran. That would not be good.
That's very clear thinking on his part. I just point that out.
Yeah.
Zamar had his priorities in order.
Yeah, exactly. If you understood why, he was just like, God, I better get this bloody wolf back to Harathia in one piece, But no, he genuinely, that was genuinely one of his objectives, was to get Bran back to Harathia.
All right. Final question for Kevin. Does Samita like snakes? Did she before?
I think she would have been fascinated by them before, and now she would really not like to run into one, just in case they start having a conversation. Yeah,
right.
just to be sure.
Final question for Matt. If Adalbert could travel to any plane, which one would he choose first?
Possibly. I mean, forget the material planes. He'd probably want to go to the astral plane and just see, how can he project himself? How can he develop that and kind of be different places? And that'd be very exciting for him. Just kind of send himself to a library.
All right.
I'd also very quickly like to clarify for those out there wondering how shallow and awful a person Adalbert is. If we consider Gardner's theories of intelligence, Adalbert adores Baha. He has physical intelligence. He has natural intelligence. He just doesn't have the book intelligence Adalbert has. That's probably not helping at all.
It's fine. I think we all love Adalbert anyway. All right, question. Especially Adalbert. Final question for Mads. How quickly does Alithia recover from being wrong?
I think she
actually quite a humble person, in that, like, she, despite her being older than, probably because she is older than everyone actually, and because she is like a chaos child, she has been wrong lots and lots and lots of times in her
For the
lifetime.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know what? Yeah, we can learn from this. This is different. This is new. How does she get rid of whether she kind of how quickly she gets rid of being right? Well, that's something different.
Interesting. All right.
It's very much a, I told you so.
So not then.
No.
Question for Mr. Roberts. Final question. How protective does Horatia feel about his companions?
Depends on what they're doing. I'm aware that Horatia often makes it all about Ellie, in a sense, directing his displeasure at her, which has been a delight this session because he hasn't done that at all. So he does feel a responsibility to make sure that they're safe because they're all squishy in a way that he isn't. But when he's really irritated with someone, which has been in Lithia on one or two occasions, he's somewhat less protective than he normally is. So yeah, he is to a certain degree, but he would say that's because it's his job. He's the leader. It's not, you're not a good leader if people keep on dying.
All right.
Put it down to anything else.
You've got no one to lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final question for the evening, for Mr. Harris. How protective does Zamar feel about his companions?
He does feel protective about them in the sense that they are, and this sounds a bit like the Horatia thing because they're useful, but that's not the way that Zamar thinks that the others are very, very critical to. They're like pieces of a puzzle or whatever. Like, you need them to all fit together, and everybody's got their own job to do. And so Zamar feels very strongly about the sort of like division of responsibilities and things like that. So he's, even though I laughed earlier and I'm like, oh, he's a bit of a loner or whatever, he didn't used to work alone. And there were different people had different parts to play. And so he has always felt that as long as he plays his part correctly, then that's good. It's just that sometimes he feels that other people aren't quite playing their part correctly by rushing in a little bit too early, not thinking it through, not having a plan.
Isn't that everyone?
Yeah, exactly. And so for that reason, like, not having their, when he's used to having people have their roles like nicely, clearly defined about what it is they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it, and relying on that person to get that thing done. And that kind of breaks down when he's with this group. So yeah, I think that's probably about the best way to sum it up.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Okay, well, that's the last of the questions for tonight. So we'll be ending the session. Thank you all again for sticking with us and watching. We really do appreciate you all. And Mads has stuff to say.
I have a question for you, Matt. Simon, what is going on with my brain? I have a question for you, Simon.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if you could go to any plane? What plane would you go to? Oh, yeah.
The DM.
Yes.
In real life, I don't know, somewhere really cool. So I quite like my shadow plane, so I'd probably go there.
Really?
I'd want to go with enough to survive, but I'd probably go there. You've only seen the conjunction of the planes, so you haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Okay. And what was your inspiration for the shadow plane? Because obviously that's not a typical part of 5e as far as I'm aware.
My inspiration for the shadow plane is a thing. I'm not going to give it anything more detail than that. That I created at the beginning. So when I was 13 or something. So this is deeply connected to the origin of the entire thing.
Ooh.
The entire world.
The entire universe.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
In the beginning,
Wait. But you like you said a thing. Give us some sort of clue. Was it like a film? Was it like an experience?
Oh,
Like,
oh god. Probably some movies that I used to watch when I was young and books I'd read. It won't help at all, but I was a big fan of the Lensman series.
Everybody goes, don't know.
I'm trying really hard.
I've read them all. They're brilliant.
E. Doc Smith or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I was trying very hard to be polite, be like, right, the Lensman series, yeah.
It's not, yeah, it wasn't famous when I. Yeah, it wasn't famous when I was reading them either. Although, yeah, I think me and Mr. Roberts both read them at a similar time.
It looked really big and thick, and I never quite got around to them. They were enormous.
Yeah.
If you're taking one at a time, they're actually not very long books.
Oh, right, yeah.
7 little books. Little-ish.
And the usual sort of, I think when you're a teenager, you tend to get inspired by a lot of the most important myths and legends. So things like Dracula, and Frankenstein, I guess. I was never a massive fan of Frankenstein, but I like Dracula as a story. I used to read a lot of Dragonlance at the time as well, so there was a lot of D&D type stuff going through my head anyway. Yeah.
And then my last question for the DM. Sorry, I should normally do this, but I don't, because like by the time I'm normally like, what is going on? Who is your favorite NPC to play?
Oh.
And why?
I'll stick with the ones in the stream because otherwise I'd struggle to narrow it down very very quickly. I like Aldrinor at the moment. Massive fan of playing Aldrinor. Aldrinor and Princess Mayonara are probably my two. But I kind of it's almost like whoever's current is my favourite NPC. So there's another NPC that you haven't met yet. That I really like in this world that the two Chris's have met. Oh no, maybe you did meet them. I don't know. Yeah, so Aldrinor, I'd say at top at the moment. I'm having the most fun with Aldrinor.
You play him very well. He's very fun. Like I actually like Aldrinor, even though I shouldn't.
Kill him.
No, but he's kind of fun. He's kind of fun.
Do I get him? No, you didn't.
All
right, well, thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking around for Mad's questions. Those were great questions. I do appreciate that. Did you want to do any shout-outs while I find someone to raid?
Shout-outs. I have been very MIA off all social media.
Oh, that's cool. No worries.
Yeah, so I don't know who has...
Tales of Adea.
Yes! I don't know who else is out there, but as always, watch Tales of Adea, Sundays, 5 p.m. BST. It is wonderful, very rich world of high magic, full of lore and cataclysm, with the world kind of like... It's like Apocalypse, but magic.
Interesting.
And on Sunday there was a very interesting sort of almost computer science aspect that came into it, which was you don't often see in Fantasy World, but it's done very well. Fitted in really nicely.
We're like 100 years post-apocalypse now. Well, not quite, but like roundabout, thereabouts. So yeah, it's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
as La Chasses. But yeah, you should go check them out on Chaotic Super Media Co. They are wonderful, and we're big fans of them over here. And you should go check out their project, Tabletop TV, which has lots and lots of other streamers who are wonderful with a variety of different shows. And say hi to us on all sorts of social
And
media.
check out Effects United, which is at midnight 30
Oh,
BST. I think Rachel was in chat earlier. So
Yeah.
she also streams art streams on Monday evening. Well, evening our time. Which are really cool. Did I get that right, Monday? Yeah, and Beacon's Aura on Sunday is Rachel's D&D session with Mike, who also runs Effects United on Thursday evening. And we're going to raid Dealey, who plays Meikai in Effects United, who is doing art at the moment, or at least that's what the stream says. I haven't looked at it yet, so we'll see. So if you want to hang around and spend some time with Dealey as she does some art, then please do stick around. And I will start the raid countdown.
Thanks to
9,
everyone
8,
who watches week on week. Catch us on YouTube, on VOD, and we shall see you soon.
See you next
and
week.
we care for you.
Bye.
Yeah, look after yourselves and each other.